Did you know that the once little-known Chinese app Temu, which started barely 2 years ago, is now the #1 shopping app in the world? From very cheap products to the sale of random items and insane promotions, Temu has found a way to lure millions of active users. In fact, it has now become a threat to Amazon, the giant American organization. What sort of toxic tactics has Temu been employing to make this happen? What kind of damage has it caused Amazon and the internet as well? Grab a seat and let's dive into it. I'm sure you've seen this site, Temu, right? It's not the only one, but offering ridiculously cheap deals on things. Could it be an Amazon competitor that's rising up in the US? For the average person, Temu might sound fantastic, a site where you can buy expensive items like wedding dresses or air fryers for a fraction of the price, or sometimes even grab them for free. That sounds like a deal. But is there more to these deals than meets the eye? Before we dive deeper into that, first, what is Temu, and how did it start? Temu is an online marketplace, and to quote the company's description of itself, "Shop like a millionaire."
Download the Temu app and shop like a billionaire.
Temu offers a broad range of quality merchandise across 29 categories, including women's and men's clothing, beauty and health, home and kitchen, sports and outdoors, appliances, tools and home improvement, pet supplies, and toys and games, among others. It is now popularly known for its "Shop Like a Billionaire" ad campaign to promote its online flea market. Temu was founded by the 43-year-old Chinese billionaire, Colin Huang. It is a multinational commerce group registered in the Cayman Islands, with Dublin also listed as its principal office address. PDD Holdings also owns Pinduoduo, a popular online commerce platform in China. In the US, Temu is under the ownership of Waylaco Inc., a PDD Holdings subsidiary registered in Delaware and Massachusetts. The Temu platform was first launched in the United States in September 2022 and advertised during the February 2023 Super Bowl. In March 2023, Temu expanded its services to Australia and New Zealand. The following month, Temu launched in France, Germany, Italy, the Netherlands, Spain, and the UK. Subsequently, Temu extended its operations into the Latin American market. On January 17, 2024, Temu officially launched in South Africa, marking the 49th country where Temu had established its presence since its initial launch in September 2022. In fact, by the end of 2023, PDD Holdings' market capitalization surpassed fellow Chinese giant Alibaba's, making PDD the most valuable US-listed Chinese company. That reportedly made Huang the second richest man in China, although the company's stock price has dipped and is down 10% year-to-date. In February 2024, Temu offered $15 million in giveaways through multiple Super Bowl ads, just as it did in February 2023. As a result, the company experienced a significant increase in searches for its name and website traffic, attracting over 100 million active users in the US. Additionally, the company has gained over 130 million app downloads globally and approximately 420 million monthly website visits, according to SEMrush. To add to this, research by Sensor Tower also revealed that in the last quarter of 2023, Temu users spent an average of 23 minutes per week on the app, surpassing the time spent on Amazon and eBay. It has shot past other Chinese apps like Shein and TikTok in downloads and has grown so quickly that even Amazon is starting to take notice. I guess you want to know how they achieved all these insane feats. So, keep watching. At first glance, Temu could leave some users questioning whether it's legit. When the Temu page loads, you're bombarded with numerous banners, each declaring a bigger limited sale than the last. It starts with the wheel, endlessly spinning to hit the jackpot after jackpot, giving you different degrees of discounts like 5 free items or $200 in credits. Time is flashing at you as if to say, if you don't react right now, you'll miss out on a once-in-a-lifetime deal. Potential customers are overwhelmed with bright colors, percentage signs, and busy screens. While more conservative browsers can overlook these tactics as they scroll through their options, many people fall for the faux urgency the platform triggers. Unfortunately, This can lead to them spending more than they can afford on items that are either already broken or probably won't last very long. At the moment, Temu is very much a real platform, offering a variety of real heavily discounted products, from air fryers to wireless Lenovo earbuds, $8.98, computer keyboards, $15, to clothes, $1.69 for 5 pairs of socks. Users who turned to Temu as a lifeline for holiday shopping in the face of the highest inflation made it one of the fastest-growing platforms in the US, but it doesn't end there. Temu also has actual games like Fishland and Farmland, which are designed to keep you on the app. Feed the fish, water the crops, and continue to rack up your discounts and your spending. It's similar to how TikTok has captured American social media users, keeping them engaged long enough to sell more ads or more products. Also, Temu sells a wide range of products directly from Chinese sellers at ultra-low prices, made even lower through lightning deals and sales, at up to 99% off. In a conventional sales world, Chinese sellers who are always manufacturing the products sell to American or European retailers. They'd sell it wholesale, and then those retailers would repackage it and charge more to consumers. However, with Temu in the US, Chinese sellers now sell to consumers at a lower price. Hence, Temu's model relies on keeping costs at rock bottom by connecting consumers directly with suppliers and handling only the customer shipping. This, along with leveraging low-cost manufacturing and cheap labor in China, helps to keep operational costs, and therefore product prices, super low. These insanely low prices keep customers attracted to their market. While Temu's prices are cheap, many new customers aren't actually paying anything at all. That's because Temu has launched a campaign on social media in which the more you convince others to sign up, the more credit you earn. This has enabled some people who have earned enough credit to receive home goods without even giving Temu their credit card information. Over the last couple of months, posts praising Temu have spread like wildfire across Facebook, Twitter, and TikTok, though many of them use glowing language that appears to be recycled from one post to the next. It seems like they're being subsidized to be a loss leader in order to gain market share, which is not unlike what Amazon did for a long time, says Douglas Schmidt, a professor of computer science at Vanderbilt University. Brianna Lukey, who lives in Fort Worth, Texas, says she's received $200 worth of items from Temu for free. She first heard about the app from a friend a month ago and was initially leery of it. "I know there's a lot of things that go around that may not be legit," she says, "but this was." Lukey posted about Temu on Facebook, TikTok, and Snapchat, and eventually convinced friends to join the app, earning a bunch of credits in the process. She used them to order a ring light priced at $25.48 for her plaster art small business, Array of Auras, as well as an oil diffuser for $5.48, several necklaces, and a mouse and keyboard for her daughter at $19.98. Lukey says the keyboard works fine. "I didn't think it would be that great quality, but it's pretty good for being free," she says. "So I'm grateful for it." So, cheap products, free products, catchy games, and a direct seller-to-buyer link aren't all there is to the success of this company. Their social media influence will blow your mind. Let's talk about that. Influence. Link. There are millions of videos all over the internet from unknown creators, random Instagram pages, and even major influencers reviewing Temu and vouching for the quality of their products. Temu has created an entire trend online of people pointlessly shopping and then showing it to their viewers to incentivize others to buy useless products just to feel a part of the trend. Earlier on, I told you about Lukey, who got free items from Temu. Now the thing is, Temu may have given Lukey many items without her turning over any cash, but the company is getting free advertising via Lukey's social network in return. Temu is branding the campaign as a way for communities to band together to save money. Their slogan is "Team Up, Price Down." The strategy appears to be working. When Lukey posted a photo of her Temu shipment on Facebook, her post was soon deluged by 70 comments from her Facebook friends, which mostly consisted of people posting their own referral links in the hopes of scoring similar hauls. If you go on YouTube, it's taken over right now. There's a countless array of videos of people buying the most pointless products you can imagine, and it's become so widespread that it has allowed Temu to skyrocket, making it a terrifying sign of the late-stage capitalism we're in right now. It's where people are incentivized, where it's normal for your favorite influencers to waste money on random garbage from a Chinese website, promote it to their followers, and the cycle repeats over and over again. People have become so hypnotized by overconsumption and the gratification that comes with getting a good deal that their understanding and expectations of prices have been warped. Regular Temu users have become so used to buying numerous items for very little that when they see the normal price of items on other shopping sites or boutiques, they turn back to Temu, even though this is an impossible standard to live up to. They are also offering much lower prices than many of their competitors. It seems impossible for organic brands, small businesses, or even big companies to compete with Temu's pricing. But here's the thing. Temu is actually losing a lot of money on each order, which adds up to a huge loss every year. But this strategy doesn't really harm Temu or its executives. It's meant to damage the markets and the vendors who work with them. This is a common tactic used by tech startups. They use the money they receive from investors to create a business model that's faster and more convenient, but not profitable. Uber did this with taxis, Spotify did it with music, and DoorDash did it with food delivery. Often the new service isn't significantly better than what was already available, but people still switch to it because it's a bit faster and more convenient. In fact, their business model is based on the very idea of consumption. With their flashy games and addictive design, they've commodified the process of buying heaps of junk for low prices. It's like a stronger version of a drug. Once it hits the market and people see how much more potent it is, everybody wants it. Temu taps into that itch to buy something new, a feeling that nearly every single big company on earth wants to create. With that societal programming to consume and the temporary hole it fills, Temu does it better than anyone else around for a far lower price, creating a culture online of people desperately trying to get to the bottom of the barrel, scraping for the lowest prices, valuing quantity over quality. As with Uber, Spotify, and the rest, the money to make the service cheaper has to come from somewhere. For Uber, it's the drivers who make less money. For Spotify, it's the musicians. The consumer gets a slightly better experience, at least for a few years, until the company needs to make a profit and jack up the prices. Workers and companies who make all of this junk are suffering. But what are some of the downsides to the various strategies they employ? Let's find out. Back to Luki's story again. One of the comments on her post after she received those items was significantly less positive than the rest. Julie Roper-Malloy wrote that the package she ordered from Temu, containing Christmas gifts, never arrived, despite the company's pledge that it would be delivered by December 19th at the latest. "Still waiting for my order from November. Thanks, Temu. You've ruined Christmas," she wrote. In a series of Facebook messages with Time, Roper-Malloy said she spent $178 on gifts from Temu for her family, including 2 drones and some makeup for her daughter, but the items never arrived. Roper-Malloy said she contacted the company several times for a refund, which has also yet to arrive. "I will definitely be more diligent in the future when ordering online," she wrote. However, after a while, Roper-Malloy received her Temu orders and a refund from the company. Well, Temu is plagued with shipping delays, which often lead to orders arriving late or sometimes not at all. On top of that, poor customer service makes it very difficult to get a refund. Moreover, there have been numerous reports of Temu manufacturers anonymously admitting that they are essentially working for the e-commerce site without compensation. This is due to the desperate efforts of executives to attract American customers. Sandy stated, "We're working for Temu for free so that Temu can attract more American customers." According to tech analyst Jeff Lee, many of these manufacturers are unable to operate on other platforms, such as Amazon, because the tactics employed on Chinese online markets, such as offering freebies in exchange for positive reviews, violate the policies of those platforms. Still, in terms of employee working conditions, You shouldn't be too surprised if Temu takes advantage of forced labor. Let's consider its sister site, Pinduoduo. Like Temu, Pinduoduo is an online marketplace that offers various products, though it primarily focuses on the traditional agriculture industry. It has been involved in numerous controversies over the years, but in this video, I will tell you about how it treated some of its employees, specifically regarding what happened in 2021. In fact, when you look at the Chinese labor market, the work culture often requires employees to work long hours, where employees work from 9 a.m. to 9 p.m., 6 days a week. Work-life balance is nearly non-existent for many employees in China, with overtime being not only expected, but encouraged by some Chinese executives, including the wealthiest man in the country. In 2021, a young woman was heading home at around 1:30 a.m. with a group of her colleagues. It had been an incredibly taxing day of work, though nothing out of the ordinary, so it couldn't have been that surprising when she suddenly collapsed. She was rushed to a nearby hospital, where she passed away a few hours later. The horrifying news sparked outrage on Chinese social media platforms, with many blaming Pinduoduo for her death. Soon, hashtags centered on her death reached over 260 million views. Not 2 weeks after the young woman passed away, a second Pinduoduo employee, this time a young man, suddenly disappeared while visiting his parents. A third employee was allegedly fired the next day for daring to criticize the horrifying work culture the company expected its employees to accept without resistance. While there have been no official reports about the work ethic expected of Temu employees, we can't deny the possibility that the platform might have expectations similar to those of its workforce at its sister site. What about its vendors? How does Temu treat them? Temu vendors have no say when it comes to pricing their products. The platform is always asking them to lower their prices, and they aren't given any say over the new prices. If they agree, Temu will dictate the lower price. These lower prices force vendors to cut corners when creating their products, meaning that Temu's warehouses are stocked with thousands of subpar products, simply so the platform can maintain its footing in America. The platform has no issue taking advantage of its vendors, so it should come as no surprise that it's perfectly fine if the products its vendors provide were created using forced labor. While Temu does require its suppliers to agree to certain terms and conditions regarding forced labor, it refuses to take responsibility for the fact that it still accepts products that originated in areas like the Xinjiang Autonomous Region, otherwise known as the place where Uyghurs are denied their human rights and forced to work in labor camps. How do they pose a threat to the long-existing Amazon organization? Let's find out. A Deutsche Bank survey of American consumers found that nearly 1/3 of participants would rather shop at Temu than Amazon or Walmart simply because it offers a plethora of different products at extremely low prices. Consumers have been happy to spend less by waiting a few more days. This could mean that Amazon's biggest value proposition, the ultra-fast delivery network it has spent decades and billions of dollars building, might not be the advantage it once was. Temu can beat them significantly on price point. Temu has also pioneered the fast fashion value chain, enabling them to take a drawing of a dress to deliver it to your doorstep in 7 days. That's a pretty good timeline as well. Furthermore, Temu has emerged as a significant player in the market by carving out its niche with unique items that cater to specific consumer needs. While it may not match Amazon's global dominance, Temu's focus on offering specialized products sets it apart and appeals to consumers looking for something different from mainstream options. Also, when comparing the market share between Amazon US and Temu, it is evident that Amazon holds a substantial portion of the online retail market. Its wide-ranging product offerings attract diverse consumer demographics, contributing to its large market share. While Temu may not command as significant a share as Amazon at present, its strategic positioning within specific niches allows it to capture dedicated consumer segments effectively. Temu's business model takes advantage of the confluence between Chinese manufacturers drowning in excess capacity and American consumers struggling from post-COVID-19 price shocks. While the rate of US inflation may have moderated, The paychecks of the middle class have been gobbled up by the surge in housing and food costs. Meanwhile, the Chinese economy is being pummeled by deflation. Temu enables stressed-out private manufacturers to shed their inventory while delivering affordable thrill shopping. The rise of Temu could also threaten one of Amazon's newer, higher-growth, higher-margin businesses, advertising. Online advertising has, in recent years, become extremely lucrative for Amazon, bringing in more than $10 billion in sales in its latest quarter. This means the retail giant has more to gain and more to lose based on how much time shoppers spend on its website. More eyeballs for longer equals a better ad proposition. However, while the e-commerce experience has evolved in Temu, for better or worse, Amazon hasn't significantly changed its website in more than a decade, as seen by comparing it from October 2013 to October 2023. Temu's Super Bowl ad in 2023, which cost $14 million, drove a 45% increase in downloads and a 20% increase in daily users, according to analysts. And that is just one small part of its massive advertising spend. Temu is spending so aggressively that it has driven up the cost of digital ads on Meta's Facebook and Instagram platforms, making it difficult for competitors such as Etsy to afford ad inventory. Goldman Sachs estimates that Temu is investing approximately $2 billion into marketing this year, with the majority going to Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube. All those digital ads propelled Temu to become the #1 most downloaded app in 2023 and gave it 50 million monthly active users in January 2024, according to Sensor Tower. On the flip side, taking a glance at its sister company, Pinduoduo, whose playbook of gamification, a willingness to sell at a loss to take market share, and hyper-aggressive marketing enabled it to seize the crown of the most valuable e-tailer from Alibaba in China, Temu aims to use a similar strategy to outsmart Amazon. However, there are challenges for Temu as it strives to fully duplicate such success in the United States. First, the company will be hard-pressed to match Amazon's overnight or same-day delivery convenience with its Prime service. Standard shipping on Temu takes 6 to 20 days, and even the express option takes 4 to 9 days. Americans are unlikely to wait that long for something they truly need. Second, Temu's overall design and shopping experience make wooing image and value-conscious brands extremely challenging. While shoppers might be willing to take a chance on a pair of $17 earbuds or $12 running shoes, don't expect to see Apple or Nike allowing their products to be sold on the site alongside those knockoffs anytime soon. So, considering their strategy, what economic impact does it have on the global economy? Let's find out. As explained earlier, the executives at Temu will do anything to maintain the platform's presence in America. Now, tech companies like DoorDash target their most addicted users, known as whales, to extract the most profit. These companies aim to turn regular users into whales by offering incentives that build the habit of using their services. Similarly, Temu employs various tactics, such as games and promotions, to get users addicted to the platform. By doing this, Temu systematically creates hoarders and erodes people's willpower while straining their wallets. At the same time, it promotes and profits from the vice of needless consumption and spending, pushing more and more people into lifelong habits. Temu also tends to damage the reputations of vendors. One such example is an artist who was selling her products on Etsy, and they went viral almost overnight, leaving her with no time to prepare. When her print became a bestseller, numerous sites stole her art, and people began to accuse her of being a reseller of a Temu product. While she managed to get the listings she knew about taken down, the whole experience left such a sour taste in her mouth that she completely stopped selling her art. A small independent artist was crushed by a giant faceless corporation, milking every single person dry. This is part of Temu's giant effort to sweep the entire internet to undercut their competition, no matter what. How about its government-related obligations? Have there been any concerns? Temu doesn't care about how it's making money and doesn't plan on giving up any more than necessary. This is especially evident when you look at how much tax the e-commerce site has paid to the different countries it operates in, specifically regarding importing products. Most countries have systems that exempt imported goods from taxation if they are under a certain amount, which is great for individual citizens and apparently for Temu, which has used these systems to avoid paying taxes on most of the products it imports. Especially in the US, where packages worth less than $800 are exempt, Temu takes full advantage. In 2023, Fashion Dive discovered that of the millions of packages shipped to the US daily, about a third were from Temu and Shein, a site very similar to Temu. Given that most of the products people buy on average are about $1, and each is individually shipped directly to customers, Temu seems strangely dedicated to lowering their customers' carbon emissions. The US is not only missing out on taxes from about 600,000 packages a day, but Temu and Shein, which together have an estimated value of about $64 billion, don't provide any data on what their packages contain. When you have this explosion of packages under $800, along with the fact that they don't have the data required for a targeted inspection regime, you basically make it almost impossible for US Customs and Border Protection, CBP, to do its job. To put this into perspective, foreign companies export their products for very little or no cost, taking full advantage of ports and roads on every package's journey to its final destination. Meanwhile, American retailers like Gap and H&M spend millions of dollars on import duties every year and provide detailed information on what their packages contain. Temu is taking full advantage of this loophole. Unfortunately, avoiding taxes isn't the only thing Temu is taking advantage of. While Temu claims that it doesn't steal or sell personal data, that doesn't mean its customers' data is completely safe. In March 2024, Temu promised users who participated in a giveaway that they would receive $50 through PayPal or as web tokens if they signed up, downloaded the app, and sent an invitation code to their friends and family. A huge number of people signed up. However, experts and social media users, more conscious of their personal data, pointed out that something was sketchy about the way Temu was running the giveaway. Not only were participants giving the platform access to things like their photos, names, likenesses, voices, opinions, and statements, along with biographical information, but Temu ensured it didn't need to make good on giving any participant $50. The web tokens were just points you could use on the website. Furthermore, Temu could modify the reward in any way it chose at any time. Those behind the app could even cancel a customer's reward if they wanted to. So, not only had people done free advertising for Temu and provided the platform with plenty of data, but Temu didn't even have to give people the promised reward if it didn't want to. As might be expected, when people started pointing out that something was off with the data Temu was collecting, a spokesperson was quick to defend the practice, saying it was standard for many different industries. Therefore, there was no need to call them out on it. Temu has admitted that it shares customers' personal data with third parties to enhance services and personalize advertising, as does any other website. However, it seems that they may be sharing more than just names and addresses with third parties, as there are far too many examples of people purchasing a few items from Temu and then receiving a random notification a couple of days later that money had been removed from their bank account. Do you think Temu can ever match up with Amazon globally in the next few years? Let us know your thoughts in the comments section below. Do well to like this video and subscribe to this channel to get notified whenever we drop entertaining and educational videos like this. Thank you for watching, and check out our other videos on this channel.